was having fun. Lord, come salad and fried with peas and rice with crab in it too. Mash the root, gal, don't let it bite you. If it bite you, I can bite too. Oh, call the fire engine. Run, tell 'em come quick. I could feel my temperature rising. Never would make a trip like this. Lord, all over my body, from my head straight down to my feet. Pint and meat, taste pint on the goat drum, and that's all, Lord, the drink so sweet.
Tonight, a Grand Bahama Customs officer charged in court today. We've got the details. This as government responds to corruption allegations. And later, new parliamentary secretary sworn in as Parliament opens tomorrow. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Nawal. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, a senior Bahamas custom official now at the center of a major corruption case after being brought before the courts in Grand Bahama today on more than 70 criminal charges. 60-year-old Chief Customs Officer Pamela Williams appearing before a magistrate on Wednesday following an undercover investigation by the Revenue Enhancement Unit. Williams is facing some 19 counts each of bribery, extortion, money laundering, and fraud by false pretenses, along with one count of fraudulent breach of trust. She was not required to enter a plea to the charges. The matter is expected to proceed by way of voluntary bill of indictment. Bail has been denied in the magistrate's court. The case now set to return to court on September 21st for the 77 charges as we continue to follow this developing story. Well, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is now raising concern after revealing that Bahamian consular officials have not yet been granted access to Jonathan Eric Gardner. He's that plane crash survivor who was later taken into United States custody, all in connection with an alleged drug trafficking investigation. The statement comes as government continues to respond to growing questions surrounding Gardner's arrest, which followed the election day plane crash as he and other Bahamian passengers were traveling to Grand Bahama. Officials say the government is cooperating fully with U.S. authorities through diplomatic, consular, legal, and treaty channels. Meanwhile, U.S. court documents and international reports contain allegations that Gardner was found in possession of some $30,000 in Bahamian cash, 3 cell phones, and other items after being recovered from waters following the crash. Those same documents also contain claims of alleged contact between a Bahamian parliamentarian and individuals believed to be connected to an investigation. Those claims remain allegations. No charges have been announced against any Bahamian politician. The Office of the Prime Minister has also acknowledged the developments, stating that wherever wrongdoing is established, any person involved will be held accountable without fear or favor, and the chips will fall where they may. The allegations have also sparked some widespread public discussion and call for answers. While some government officials have declined interview requests, others responded through written statements, though many of the specific claims outlined in the U.S. documents have yet to be directly addressed. Meantime, West Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Kingsley Smith is now breaking his silence on reports he says have been circulating in the public domain and referencing his name in a statement. Smith says he is aware of the discussions surrounding the matter, but he strongly rejects those claims, describing reports related to him as, quote, salacious, defamatory, and entirely ill-conceived. Smith did not elaborate on these specific reports he was referencing, but his comments come amid growing public attention surrounding this developing matter. Meantime, the Free National Movement Deputy Leader Shannon Don Cartwright, he's calling for a commission of inquiry into the identity of Politician 1. It's the unidentified individual referenced in those U.S. court documents connected to the ongoing DEA investigation involving an alleged meeting at Parliament. Cartwright describing the allegations as deeply concerning and calling the matter, quite frankly, a disgrace, while also expressing hope that those responsible, if any wrongdoing is established, will be held accountable. The call came in a video recorded outside of Parliament, which has since been circulated widely across social media as Cartwright questions what he describes as the government's silence on the matter. The Davis administration has since responded through a statement acknowledging the developments.
Someone who was in this house this House, bringing disrepute not only to this institution, but to the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Someone who was working to disturb the sanctity of this institution. The government must stand up and let the Bahamian people know who is this politician who was in this House. Is it someone who, in fact, will be sworn in tomorrow to come back in this House? So the question is today, why is the government so silent on this issue that has brought reputational damage not only to this institution, but to the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas? There's a collective cry throughout this country that the people of this country are demanding answers. How could it be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that someone who is sworn to protect the Constitution of this country and who should be a lawmaker, not a lawbreaker?
Eyewitness News turning to social media, posing the question, do you have confidence in how investigations involving public officials are handled? 4% of participants voted yes, most cases are handled fairly. 89% voted no, there should be more accountability, while 6% voted only where there is international involvement. 1% said that they were unsure. Well, calls are growing tonight for stronger accountability and oversight as the Organization for Responsible Governance urges the government to move forward with enforcement of bills that are already on the books. Our Laurencia Smith has the details tonight.
Amid growing questions surrounding a high-profile investigation, including allegations tied to a Bahamian drug kingpin and claims of a possible political connections, the head of the Organization for Responsible Governance is calling for urgent action. Executive Director Matt Albury says the time has come to advance enforcement of the Independent Commission of Investigation bill. He argues that stronger oversight are needed to help restore public confidence in national institutions.
Exactly the piece of legislation that would be set to receive and vet these any concerns of allegations, and it's not specific just to the uniformed forces, right? It is inclusive of things across government and those people that serve in political office.
The bill was debated back in 2025, but Albury says there has been little movement since then, a delay he argues weakens its intended purpose. He maintains that legislation aimed at strengthening transparency and accountability, including measures such as the Freedom of Information Act, loses its impact when it remains stalled or not fully implemented.
So it's essential that comes forward as a mechanism that people can start to build trust in. That goes in complement with the Protected Disclosures Act, which has been passed and yet not put into force. It goes in concert with the Ombudsman Act, and that's enacted, but that's been passed, but not resourced or put into force.
The ORG director warns that with a new parliamentary session on the horizon, it's not time to introduce what he describes as new items on the table. He says priority should remain on developing long-term promises for good governance across all sectors.
You add in a further development of an integrity council that looks at and proactively identifies ways to build the integrity and the accountability and the transparency of our governance systems. Absolutely. But before you start passing new laws, there's a great opportunity to forward and advance and fully enact the laws that are already on our books.
Tia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Tonight, the controversy continues surrounding the Prime Minister's ministerial team that political leaders say won't just exhaust the public purse, but will silence those who have been previously considered backbenchers. A former Prime Minister isn't being too critical just yet. Our Jose Etienne has this perspective.
While public and political criticism continues to mount over what critics call a bloated cabinet under Prime Minister Philip Davis, former Prime Minister Dr. Eyewitness says he is taking a more measured approach as he waits to hear the government's rationale behind what is now the largest cabinet in Bahamian history.
Sometimes it's best to look at the wider picture. At the wider picture, is this an investment by the government for a long-term benefit for the country? And I have to see what the speech from the throne is tomorrow.
Minister stopping short of condemning the 29-member cabinet may come as a surprise to some, particularly given that his own administration began with a 16-member cabinet. Nonetheless, Davis has defended his compliment, arguing that he needs all hands on deck to advance his government's agenda. This cabinet now includes more ministers and state ministers than Davis's first term. However, questions continue to emerge over whether some positions were structured more around political considerations. Critics have pointed to the appointment of PLP Secretary General Barbara Cartwright as Senator and Minister of Social Services, a move that caught many by surprise. Then there is Jerome Fitzgerald, a former member of Parliament who returns to frontline politics after his last elected stint in government ended more than a decade ago. Fitzgerald also previously served as a senior policy advisor in the office of the Prime Minister. Also under scrutiny is Davis's decision to appoint 2 state ministers in the office of the Prime Minister compared to just one during his first term. And while the appointments of Sebastian and Leslie Miller Bryce appear to have satisfied legal requirements, observers continue to examine those decisions. While Minnis is not joining the chorus of critics, he has raised questions about how some portfolios were aligned.
I've always felt that technology should be separate as opposed to being attached to something. Technology is too important.
And so it remains to be seen whether the Governor General's speech from the throne on Wednesday will provide greater clarity on the government's direction and quiet some of the discussion surrounding the size of cabinet. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, Bahamas Christian Council President Pastor Mario Moxie is now calling on relevant authorities to break their silence regarding the appointments of Sebastian and Leslie Miller Bryce to cabinet. The appointments continue to attract public attention due to their previous connections to the gaming industry, with discussions now focused on provisions of the Gaming Act that place restrictions on gaming operators and certain related interests among cabinet members. Both cabinet ministers have maintained that they've satisfied all of the legal requirements necessary to serve in their respective positions. Prime Minister Philip Davis and the Gaming Board have yet to publicly address the matter. Meanwhile, Pastor Moxie says his concern is not necessarily whether the letter of the law was satisfied, but whether the appointments complied with what he described as the spirit and intention of the legislation.
We acknowledge that the ministers in question have indicated that they have satisfied the legal requirements necessary to serve in cabinet. However, no public evidence has yet been produced that fully resolves the concern held by many citizens, whether these individuals have truly and completely relinquished any direct or indirect interest, influence, or continuing financial benefit from gaming enterprises with which they have been closely identified. The present appointments have created a dark cloud that should not be dismissed lightly. Even if legal opinions have been obtained, and even if steps have been taken to satisfy the letter of the law, the broader, more important question remains, and that is, has the spirit of the law been honored? The Bahamian people should not be asked to accept what appears to be legal gymnastics crafted to get one over on the law. When a statute is enacted to prevent a particular ethical danger, government must not appear to be searching for pathways around the very concern that the law was designed to address.
The Davis administration has now completed its executive team, appointing 5 new parliamentary secretaries to round out its government lineup. Those appointed include Keenan Johnson. He will serve in the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. Clint Watson returns to the office of the Prime Minister. Obie Roberts joins Zane Lightburn in the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources. Bradley Fox has been assigned to the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs, and Randy Roll to the Ministry of Tourism. During brief remarks, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper reminded the newly appointed parliamentary secretaries that their responsibilities began immediately, charging them to get to work as government moves into its new term.
No office is above the people. No title is greater than the duty to serve. And no appointment matters unless it helps improve the lives of the Bahamian people. The Prime Minister has assembled this executive team with a clear mandate to deliver. The Bahamian people expect progress, the progress that we promised, that they can see, feel, and trust. They expect government to move with urgency, to listen, to act, and to remain close to the realities of their lives. That mandate belongs to all of us, And parliamentary secretaries, you have an important role to play in making government work better.
Meantime, former Garden Hills MP and Minister of the Public Service and National Insurance, Renzo Roll, contesting ZNS General Manager Clint Watson's appointment as senator while he still holds the senior position with the national broadcaster. Roll insisting law indicates that two cannot coexist.
If you are characterized as a public officer, or if you work in a quasi-government area, the rule applies to you. The rule is you cannot, as a public officer or someone receiving remuneration from the public treasury, you cannot declare yourself to be political. You have to step down. Clint has not stepped down. I think that's unfortunate. That's not the tradition. That's not the rules. The rules are very clear.
Roll claims that Watson holding the two positions simultaneously means that there should be reparations for previous politicians who found themselves in similar predicaments and were asked to choose between the two. He claimed, though unsuccessful, Watson should not have been allowed to seek nomination in the Southern Shores constituency without stepping down as well.
All those persons in the past who had to resign their posts, the government should now be in a position to reimburse them because they didn't have to resign based on the rules established by the PRP. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if we are a country of rules, the rules apply to everyone and applies to them equally. It cannot be fair for one group of individuals from a political party to be able to do things and get away with it and not others.
A big day tomorrow as all eyes will be on the official opening of Parliament. It's a day marked by tradition, fanfare, and a formal ceremony, but with the core focus centered on lawmaking and democratic governance. Laurencia Smith has more on this tonight.
The open of Parliament, steeped in ceremony, tradition, pomp, and pageantry, marked the official start of a new legislative term. The day features the ceremonial proceeding of lawmakers, the inspection of the guard, and then there's the main event.
Governor General will then proceed to the throne, for the speech from the throne. Of course, that will not be here as it's traditionally done from 1993, I think it was. She will proceed to Atlantis, where the speech from the throne will be delivered.
David Forbes, Chief Clerk of the Parliament, says that the speech delivered by the Governor General Cynthia Pratt will outline the Davis administration's way forward.
Governor General will give a copy to the President of the Senate and give another copy to the Speaker. And then the Governor General will depart. Members of the House of Assembly will also leave that room and head back to the House of Assembly. And then the senators will leave and go back to the Senate.
Alongside the ceremonial tradition, members of Parliament arrived dressed in their finest attire, sharp suits for the gentlemen and elegant hats for the ladies. The event also marked the formal swearing-in of the country's newly elected MPs and 16 appointed senators as the new parliamentary session takes shape.
The clerk will preside over the election of a speaker. Once that is done, the speaker will then ascend the throne, and then of course the speaker will preside over the election of the deputy speaker. Same thing will happen in the Senate. The president will be elected and then the vice president will be elected.
This is the first time since 2002 that the lower chamber has more than 40 members.
The only thing we needed to do was add another 2 microphones to the desk because we already had 40 seats there. There are 10 seats on every row, but you must remember at one point we had 49 members in this House of Assembly. I expect the number of seats in the House of Assembly to increase over the next several decades exponentially as the population grows.
And on Wednesday at 10 a.m., the new parliamentary session will officially begin, with the Progressive Liberal Party holding the majority in the lower chamber. Once again, under the leadership of Prime Minister Philip Davis, the Free National Movement will take its place as the official opposition led by Michael Pintard. Inside the chambers, elected members will debate key national issues, scrutinize government policies, and consider legislation designed to govern and shape lives of citizens across the Bahamas. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Laurencia. Well, we've added another access point to make sure you're up to date with the latest news. Follow the Eyewitness News WhatsApp channel, scan that QR code on your screen, or visit our social media pages for a direct link. While you're there, don't forget to follow Eyewitness News on Instagram and Facebook. But if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Eye on News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas at gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight. But when we come back, a death investigation now ruled a murder, bumping the country's murder toll. We've got that story coming up. And later tonight, the University of the Bahamas launches national consultation for a new 5-year strategic plan. We've got more on that right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Captain Cash & Co. viral videos have shown you using what is said to be super speed to deliver cash to citizens around the world. Can you explain this?
Those people are simply taking advantage of Cash & Go's Cash Now money lending service, our easy-to-use money lending portal.
How does it work?
Well, you simply enter your information along with a recent payslip, a picture of your ID, and then select your loan amount and the repayment term. We review it as soon as possible. And then once approved, we could have your cash delivered to your mobile wallet, or we could send it directly to a bank of your choosing. Any more questions?
No. Thanks, Cash & Go, man.
It's Captain Cash & Go.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best-kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Scotiabank knows your first home is where you finally get to say, "This is me." It's where memories grow inch by inch. It's where hosting creates income and where your home can become a business. Or it's where little feet take their very first step into a future you've worked so hard to build. And we know how important it is to capture those special moments. At Scotiabank, our goal is to help you find a home for your first.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and everybody watching from Nassau. Tonight, we welcome a star. So please join me in welcoming the barbecue rap star, star of the show!
KFC, it's finger-licking good.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. You're getting the cheapest at Rubis, $6.65, Shell, $6.85, Esso, $6.95. Those are your local prices at the pump. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. Well, a 28-year-old man charged with murder in the magistrate's court earlier today in connection with a murder in Eleuthera last week. Well, details surrounding the murder of the 53-year-old victim remain unclear, but he was found dead in bushes in Rock Sound on Wednesday, May 13th. His body discovered by a concerned resident who reported it to authorities. Due to the nature of the charge, the suspect was not required to enter a plea and bail was denied. He returns to court on December 10th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. Until then, he's being housed at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. A 29-year-old man also being remanded to prison after authorities charged him with raping the mother of his young daughter in an abandoned building on East Bay Street earlier this month. Prosecutors say Sean Monroe contacted the 37-year-old victim on May 5th to see their daughter, and after meeting him at a business establishment at 2 p.m., the pair talked, and the complainant declined his request to rekindle their relationship. When she attempted to leave around 4 p.m., he allegedly pushed her into a stairwell of a 2-story building and raped her while their daughter was in a stroller nearby. It's alleged that the suspect fled the scene while the victim sought refuge at a nearby church until authorities arrived. Due to the nature of the charge, he was not required to enter a plea. Bail has been denied. He returns to court on August 27th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. Until then, he's being held behind bars at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. Popular Bahamian content creator Elias Fritz, better known online as Judeo World, is facing new criminal charges after prosecutors accused him of stealing an SUV. Prosecutors alleged that the 20-year-old, along with a 21-year-old, Jashawn Turnquest, sold a Nissan Juke valued at $10,000. On May 11th, the two also faced an alternate charge of receiving the stolen vehicle. Both men denied the allegations. When they appeared before Senior Magistrate Raquel Wims, they were each granted $6,000 bail. The matter has been adjourned to July 2nd for trial. Fritz is already before the courts on separate charges of attempted murder, armed robbery, and possession of a firearm linked to a shooting and police chase last year. In other news, questions are being raised tonight over the size of the Davis administration's cabinet, which now stands at 29 of its 33 members. Critics and commentators say the expanded cabinet raises concern about government efficiency as well as the potential burden on taxpayers. Meanwhile, opposition leader Michael Pintard has voiced concern, suggesting the Prime Minister may be attempting to sideline dissent within his own backbench. So what exactly is the role of backbenchers in Parliament? Chief of Parliament David Forbes explained that backbenchers are members of Parliament who are not part of the cabinet or shadow cabinet.
Has to also, he also has to support his cabinet colleagues. You're part of the executive now. Once you're part of the executive, you are bound by secrecy, and you're bound by, you're forced to, what do we call it, collective responsibility, which means that whatever the cabinet decides, you either have to agree with it or you have to resign. So members of the cabinet now, who are also representatives of the people, they now have an allegiance to the cabinet as well as their constituencies. If you're a backbencher, your allegiance is really, when it comes to the administration or the cabinet, is as strong as your allegiance to your party. But then, of course, you have representatives, you have constituents that you have to represent, and you have to make sure that you do your job representing your constituents too.
Well, the Progressive Liberal Party's victory came after much speculation, criticism, and calculated guesses on who would take the election. Tonight, in this report with our Danielle Dean, we hear from the electorate on what ultimately persuaded how they voted on May 12th.
The billboards could be distracting, so I guess they saying, like, if you see the same thing over and over and over again, it can stick in your brain. So it might work for other people, but for me personally, it ain't make a difference.
The dust has settled and voters are reflecting on what influenced their decision at the polls. While strong messaging and promises of policy implementation were what caught the ear of some believe simple strategies like carefully placed billboards and catchy songs had more impact than perceived.
There was a lot of talk in society about the weakness of the opposing leader for the FNM. And I think the billboard, having their leader on it, kind of played on that, I guess, what society was thinking at the time. And so it just reinforced the idea that, hey, our leader is better. So every time you looked at the billboard, you didn't just see the candidate, you saw the leader as well, which I think subconsciously had a good effect on the people.
Songs that got the attention of the younger people, I guess you could say. So that's probably why they might have been more attentive towards the PLP.
Meanwhile, slogans like "We work for you, not the few," "Choose progress," and "Change isn't coming, change is here," according to voters like Anthony Brown and Nathan Wallace, called for deeper reflection and ultimately played on the minds of the public.
did you really work for me? And the same with the government. We choose progress. And persons, I think, vote on their own experience. What's the experience I had with you? Did you show me progress?
It was more so what was said and who the people believe will have more of an impact rather than their political strategies, because everywhere you look, everybody has a billboard or a flyer or all the little signs inside of the grass. So I don't necessarily think it's the strategy, more so what was said by who.
Special attention paid to the recruitment of youth and first-time voters, some argued, worked in some candidates' favor. On the flip side, though, first-time voter Latrell Knowles admits she almost didn't make it to the polls.
If the advanced polling was a bit smoother, we might have had a bigger turnout in regards to the everybody voting. Because for me personally, because it was so chaotic, I was like, if it's going to be the same way when it comes my turn, I'm not voting.
Well, as preparations are being made for the official opening of Parliament tomorrow, this resident reminding politicians the electorate is watching and holding them to the oath they've each taken.
And I have a message for all politicians. You are a public servant. Like, take that seriously. If you are not it's like you go in the house and you take this oath, but at the end of the day, you are a public servant. You should pick community over personal profit.
Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Well, PLP appointed Senator Robin Lyons reflecting on the competitive race for the Killarney seat, which saw her lose by just over 30 votes last week. Lyons claims she is in familiar territory, having served as one of the PLP senators before. She says she'll use prior knowledge to contribute to Senate proceedings. Priorities for Lyons, she says, includes education, healthcare, social services, and immigration.
Running in Killarney was an experience that I couldn't pay for. It's certainly one I would never regret. And it's one that we have to see how it unfolds, because I may just do it again. So, I was excited about that, and I'm so grateful for all of the voters in Killarney that support me and still continue to support me. I love the Senate. I've been in the Senate before, and this is another opportunity to be a contributor to the national discussion. When it comes to legislation, when it comes to policy, when it comes to shaping and framing how we run the country, I wanted to be part of that conversation, to lend my voice and advocacy on behalf of the Bahamian people. So I'm very grateful to the Prime Minister for this opportunity.
The University of the Bahamas launching a national consultation process for its new 2026 to 2031 strategic plan. It's aimed at shaping the future of the institution. UB President Dr. Robert Blaine says the 5-year roadmap will focus on student success, academic growth, research, accreditation, and national development. The university will host digital surveys, public forums, and stakeholder consultation to garner feedback from faculty, students, alumni, industry partners, and also the public. The initiative comes as UB continues to push forward international and national accreditation while also expanding its role in preparing students for a rapidly changing global economy. Well, they're often first to respond after storms and during power outages, and the last to leave once power has been restored. In this latest edition of Keeping Current, we follow the team of BPL linesmen as they represent the country at a recent regional event.
Being a linesman requires precision, courage, and skill. But imagine putting those abilities to the test in a regional competition. That's exactly what a 6-member delegation from the Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited did, as they proudly represented the Bahamas at Carol's Line Workers Rodeo and Symposium in Dominica.
Line workers from across the region faced off in a competition designed to test their technical expertise, safety knowledge, and speed in real-world scenarios. We caught up with members of Team Bahamas who shared their thoughts on the experience.
And I'm looking forward to the friendly competition and to see how we stack up against the rest of the Caribbean when it comes to climbing and little techniques and tricks that you can incorporate into your line of work every day.
Events like these is good because at the end of the day, when we do go on hurricane restorations, everyone is on the same page. Safety practices, the safety aspects of it, so it wouldn't be nothing new for anyone.
Participants competed demonstrating their ability to climb poles, rescue colleagues, and restore power efficiently and safely. But it wasn't all smooth sailing.
It's kind of rainy. Being a lineman, rain don't stop you. Like, this is basically a normal thing for us, working in the rain and weather conditions not being the best, but we just pull through and do what we gotta do.
I was really only disappointed about one event that I didn't get to do too well in, but everything else was pretty good. I feel like I did my best.
Being at the symposium with all of the other teams from the various Caribbean islands, it's been helpful in the camaraderie. There's a barrier, right? So you're able to bridge that. It's pivotal to be able to forge relationships, build this friendship.
For Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited, this experience was more than competition. This was about building regional bonds, sharing knowledge, and empowering the people who help to keep us energized every day.
So to come in Eyewitness News tonight, growing concern over our marine resources. We've got the details coming up. But first, a check on tonight's weather forecast.
At the UN's first ever Sustainability Challenge, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, Director General Latia Duncombe, and Executive Director of UN Tourism, Natalia Bayona, showed how this entrepreneurial competition will benefit the future of the Bahamas.
Firstly, let me tell you that this is a proud day for the Bahamas. It's a great partnership with United Nations Tourism, and we are the first to launch a challenge like this anywhere in the Caribbean. So this is an important opportunity to help to mobilize entrepreneurs, innovators, draw on the ingenuity of Bahamians. And I'm proud that this has been a regional competition, but this is an opportunity really to drive innovation, sustainability, and also grow tourism. So it's important for that balance, and this is an exercise to ensure that balance continues into the future as we progress tourism.
And as we look at presenting opportunities, we have to lean in and focus on sustainability. So that's, being green, innovation, opportunities for Bahamians. And that gave birth to the UN Sustainable Challenge. We have about 85 applicants that we've seen. 56 of them were Bahamian. We had 6 finalists that were assessed, access to mentors, financing. Again, we're now looking at how do we move the needle and further enhance and develop these startups. What we also did during this same time was we looked at mature companies as well, or mature entities, like the Coral Vidas, and we gave them opportunities to have discussions as well.
I think that this will be by far a very positive mission with positive impacts and strong results as a way to showcase Bahamas to the world and say that this is not only a place to invest in talent, that at the end is the best investment.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
Life moves fast, and the best moments happen when you get more from every connection.
Boy, life come true, eh? Appreciate it.
When your world is connected, more convenience comes naturally, so you can keep moving with more freedom and less interruption. From real-time updates to everyday essentials, you stay more in sync with life. Because when time matters, more reliability keeps you one step ahead. From home to work and everywhere life takes you, our network is built for more.
Yes, we got everything secured in the cloud.
Driven by a network built for today and designed to deliver more possibilities tomorrow.
Oh, how we getting ya?
Where entertainment is more immersive.
Who's again? Hey, what's in the game?
And real-life moments come with more access instantly. This is connectivity that feels out of this world. Join the family and experience more.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, tonight there's growing concern over the future of the country's fishing industry as new research shows some of the country's most popular seafood species are being pushed to their limit. Our Rebecca Bain has the details tonight.
New research from Sea Around Us has revealed that many of the Bahamas' most iconic seafood stocks are being harvested faster than they can naturally replenish. And now, Bahamian fishermen say the impact is hitting close to home, forcing many to travel further out to sea in search of a good catch.
Gas price outrageous now, and then when you decide to say, well, you could go up a little $10 or $5 more up on the fish, people crying. You have to go up on your product. So it's like a waste of time to go out there. You lose.
The study examined 12 of the country's most commercially and culturally important marine species, using reconstructed catch data spanning more than 7 decades. Among the species raising concerns are Nassau grouper, Korean conch, and Caribbean spiny lobster, long considered staples of Bahamian cuisine and culture. Some local fishermen say these species are becoming increasingly harder to find, with some blaming illegal poaching by foreign vessels for the decline.
You have Florida right over there, then we have illegal immigrants from Dominican Republic and areas. We see them when we out there, so judge when we are not out there. And that was a big drop in last season catch, because a lot of guys saw that a lot of their condos and things were freshly moved and stuff when they go out to see it.
Now, whilst poaching is considered to be the most common threat to our fishing industry, one local fisherman says another is rapidly growing.
You go in an area the same time over and over and over again. The same set of fish, would you leave there? You already take some fish from there. You ain't gonna look to see the same amount. So you can't just keep fishing in one area. You gotta give an area time to catch itself. You haul this area last week. You don't want to go on that same spot again. Fish ain't come back that fast. You gotta be, whereas you as a brother, you know, well, all right, this fish too small, or this fish out of season, throw it back overboard.
While fishing seasons and protective regulations have long been in place, some within the industry believe stronger enforcement is now needed. Fishermen are also calling on government to review existing policies and create programs aimed at educating aspiring fishermen about sustainable fishing practices.
Lack the training. That's all it is. Lack the training. And government need to implement this thing not from yesterday, from in school.
Experts warn that without greater protection and long-term planning, some of the Bahamas' most beloved seafood species could face serious declines in local waters. Rebecca Bain, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Rebecca. Still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, our Laurencia Smith has your latest check on sports right after this break.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
Step inside a world of adventure.
Welcome back to another episode of The Movement. For generations, Potter's Key Dock has powered livelihoods without ever being powered itself. This historic marine hub has operated through ingenuity, resilience, and makeshift solutions. But today, it stands on the threshold of transformation. Well, the groundwork has officially started to electrify the Potter's Key Dock for the very first time in our nation's history. And the Ministry of Energy is calling the project a major step in modernization and sustainability. The Ministry of Energy is now laying the groundwork to electrify the dock for the very first time. And leading the charge is Energy Minister JoBeth Colby Davis, who toured the site meeting with vendors whose daily lives stand to benefit from this long-awaited upgrade.
I think all the vendors are grateful for it because we use sometimes 4 or 5 generators a year. And we say thank you to the minister.
So today, this project means access to reliable and sustainable power to continue to grow their businesses.
The electrification project is being led by the Ministry of Energy, working alongside Bahamas Power and Light, the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, and the Ministry of Works. This new system will introduce lowering operational costs and environmental impact over time.
Each individual stall will have their own dedicated meter. We are also installing spare infrastructure for the next 20, 30, even 40 years.
The Ministry of Energy is so proud to be at the forefront of this national and historic initiative, and we invite everyone to celebrate the electrification of Fortescue Dock.
Now, vendors say that more reliable electricity changes everything. But of course, the Ministry of Energy says that this project is just a part of a more elaborate plan to make the Bahamas into a more energy-efficient place.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurentia Smith. Thanks for joining us.
Kicking things off in sports tonight, we're trackside with our collegiate athletes as they continue to shine across the United States, picking up conference titles, medals, and impressive finish over the weekend. At the Big Ten Outdoor Track and Field Championship, Bahamian national record holder Keyshawn Strawn turned in another dominant performance in Nebraska. Kornowski Jr. claimed the men's javelin title with an impressive throw of 79.36 meters, securing the Big Ten crown on his home field.
This win mean a lot to me. The competition was good. Like I said, just coming off of surgery like 2 months ago. 3 months ago, this really meant a lot to me, especially how my last Big Ten went. It went too good, and this one, I just went out there and gave it my all, and I did my best. This means I'm in a really good position right now, leading into regionals and nationals. I just gotta keep my position.
While his Nebraska teammate Tasia Stubb also representing the 242 in the women's javelin, the freshman recorded a best mark of 48.20 meters to finish 10th overall. Meanwhile, at the Mid-American Conference Outdoor Championship, Andrew Stiles put up another stellar performance. Stiles captured the men's 200 meters in a time of 20.7 seconds before returning to take the 400-meter title in a time of 46.22 seconds. Texas A&M senior LaCarthia Cooper finished 15th in the women's 400 meters with a time of 52.11 seconds. University of Tennessee senior Javania Valcott also delivered a strong showing, crossing the line 6th in a time of 50.93 seconds. Well, congratulations to all of our athletes as they continue to make their mark on the college scene.
Well, that's a quick look at sports at this hour. I'm Laurentia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
5 cars, catch the keys, don't blink, take these.
Island Luck is giving away 5 brand new cars. Earn 10 reward points for a chance to enter and win. Enter weekly from Monday 12 a.m. to Sunday 2 p.m. Winners are announced Sundays at 3 p.m. on 103.5 The Beat and Island Luck Socials. 5 cars, 5 weeks. The more you play, the better your chances. Visit islandluck.com for more information. Catch the keys only at Island Luck. Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news at this hour. Coming up and beyond the headlines with Shanique Miller, a look at today's top stories. That's coming up and beyond the headlines. It starts right after this. We'll be back at 9:30 in the morning for our special broadcast on the opening of Parliament. Well, that does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space? The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
A veteran customs officer at the center of a major corruption investigation. Also tonight, West End MP-elect Kingsley Smith clarifying his name as a social media firestorm swirls. The Christian Council calling for more information on the appointments of Sebas Bastian and Leslie Miller to the new cabinet. And later tonight, Wendy's and Coca-Cola here to make one lucky viewer, or perhaps a few, quite happy months ahead of the Essence Fest this summer. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, tonight, a senior Bahamas customs official is now at the center of a major corruption case after being hauled before the courts in Grand Bahama on more than 70 charges, criminal charges. 60-year-old Chief Customs Officer Pamela Williams appeared before magistrate on Wednesday following an undercover investigation by the Revenue Enhancement Unit. Williams is facing 19 counts each of bribery, extortion, money laundering, and fraud by false pretenses, along with 1 count of fraudulent breach of trust. She was not required to enter a plea, as the matter is expected to proceed by way of voluntary bill of indictment. Bail was denied in the magistrate's court. The case is now set to return to court September 21st. As we continue to follow the story, of course, we will start right there this evening. So much has been said recently about fraud, about senior government officials or government officials on any level, really, in the civil service, involved in fraudulent activity. This time, this customs officer, a veteran senior customs officer, in the middle of such a case, an investigation that apparently was going on for quite some time, and now sitting in prison, waiting for her case, or to return to court rather, in September, months from now. So that is that shows right there that a no-nonsense approach right out the gate. I'd like to bring in my panelists now so that we can discuss this and really sort of give some sort of perspective to it after discussing fraud and corruption and whatnot, I mean, for months, quite frankly. And here is this female finds herself at the center of this case. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Michael Turnquest, Peggy Candace, and Howard Johnson. Good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Good evening, Bahamas. Good evening, Shanique. Pleasure to be back.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Peggy and Michael, and good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, Howard.
Hello, Howard.
Good evening to each of you. Let's talk about exactly what I just read. Shocking, but we know, and we've been saying it for quite some time, it is those who are entrusted with performing certain duties and carrying out those duties who are oftentimes the ones with dirty hands. Let's just talk about the I think 70-odd charges, criminal charges, as they are termed, that this former customs officer now faces.
You ask yourself, how can one be set up so many times and keep falling for the same thing over and over? But I think this is nothing new When we look at, we've always said in this particular area, you follow the money. We've always heard, I would say decades ago about customs officers, living beyond their means as relates to, big this, big that, big homes. So this is nothing new to the Bahamas. It's good that, we're finally starting to get down, to the bottom of it. But I can guarantee you this is only a tip of the iceberg in terms of what else, needs to be looked into, straight across, just not only in customs, straight across the board. We continue to talk about immigration. We talk about the passport office. We talk about NIB. We talk about all these different agencies that needs to be, really do a thorough investigation and find out, what, and you all in banking, we say if you follow the money and you'll figure out, who is doing what.
Good evening, Bahamas. Thank you once again, Shanique, for having me. Strangely enough, from the by-election November 2025 until the last election campaign over the past several months, corruption was a key point of the opposition argument to be elected by Bahamian people. However, they never say, well, Bahamians, you need to do better. People who are employed by the government needs to do better in being honest and transparent. They always try to lay it at the feet of the then and now current administration. And I remember the head of the passport office coming to the show and saying the system is working simply because we identify the fraudulent documents attached to these applications and we forward them to the relevant agencies for investigation. But the opposition never supported that. It was always a corrupt government. And the Bahamian public need to be held accountable, responsible. Those who are paid to carry out a service need to be held accountable. And so I'm glad to see that this person is before the courts. This person will sit inside. I hope they bring him Foxhell for a hot summer. It is serious.
There's no summer to be in Foxhall.
Listen, this is it is no summer for this 60-year-old woman, is she, to be behind bars and waiting there until September. Howard, your thoughts?
Yeah, Shanique, unfortunately, this is an unsavory underbelly and black market that exists in the Bahamas, but also globally. And especially in government offices and in public sector roles, right, and jobs. So you have people, and this is by no means an excuse, I'm just laying it out. You have persons who are not making very much money by the way of salary in comparison to their corporate counterparts. And they are in sensitive jobs and jobs where the temptation is sometimes great because they can do things with the government's resources and the government's time that can allow themselves to make extra money in a corrupt and fraudulent manner. And so there lies the big issue, right? And we know it goes on in the Bahamas. And like Peggy said, it has been going on for a long time. This crackdown needs to be widespread and pervasive. I am happy that this person was arrested and is spending that time in Foxhill until trial. And I hope that the sentence is very stringent on this individual. So much so that it tells others who are engaged at this time or thinking about becoming engaged in such activities, it would be a deterrent for them, because this is a drop in the bucket for real. There are people out there who are doing these things consistently throughout the government service, and they need to be brought to justice if the investigations and the evidence shows that they are doing things untoward and in breach of their public duties.
We can't send investigate or send them set to jail who, you got to tip them for everything. You pay them $20 to move the document from here.
Michael,
we need to send some of them to jail too,
is the Bahamian way.
I can't give everybody $20.
If you want something done in some public government agency, you got to buy them lunch. You got to buy them lunch. You got to do something.
We have created that culture.
We've done it.
We have created that culture, and the only way it can stop if we stop. You understand? We want a little favor. We want to skip the line. We want to drop the line.
You can stop, then they wouldn't. If If you don't get them that $20, that document can sit on that desk.
That's not true.
Tell Timbuktu.
Because I don't.
You might call somebody.
Practice.
You might know somebody
Peggy,
else.
you may not practice it, but believe me,
But
it's a real thing. There are many government agencies, and they will keep you coming back every other day because Miss So and So isn't here. But you slip them a slow 100.
I don't have a slow 100 to slip nobody.
No, man,
And Bahamians have to discontinue. See, we create a culture of corruption.
We have done
and
that,
then
yes.
we want to scream, oh, they corrupt. No, you corrupt. If you participate, if you have a slow 50, a slow 100 to slip somebody, slip it to me for my gas bill, please. But you don't have to participate. You demand that service. And I have seen many persons, because I did it personally, where I went to social media and I call your doggone name. And guess what? Everybody starts skipping and jumping because I call your name. I say, get it done. You've been hired to do this job. Even if you've been hired because of political favors, do your doggone job. And it's time for Bahamians to stop being corrupt. And that is those who participated and those who slip in.
Listen to me, start on every level because there are many levels. When we talk about those fraudulent documents, for example, they have to be signed by someone. They have to be approved by someone. They have to be made up and pushed through by someone. And it starts at the very basic of people who go and put a stamp on them to try and legitimize them. But you all, we have a lot to get to tonight. Get this, you all. That's fine. That's okay. I love the passion that we do. But listen, well, I'll tell you, it's that lady, that instance with the customs officer sends a very strong message, and I think a firm one, that if you are involved, then watch out. Meanwhile, you all, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is now raising concerns after revealing that Bahamian consular officials have not yet been granted access to Jonathan Eric Gardner, the plane crash survivor who was later taken into United States custody in connection with an alleged drug trafficking investigation. The statement comes as the government continues to respond to growing questions surrounding Gardner's arrest, which followed the Election Day plane crash as he and other Bahamian passengers were traveling to Grand Bahama. Officials say the government is cooperating fully with U.S. authorities through diplomatic, consular, legal, and treaty channels. Meanwhile, U.S. court documents and international reports contain allegations that Gardner was found in possession of $30,000 in cash, 3 cell phones, and other items after being recovered from the water following the crash. Those same documents also contain claims of alleged contact between a Bahamian parliamentarian and individuals believed to be connected to an investigation. Those claims remain allegations, and no charges have been announced against any Bahamian politician. The Office of the Prime Minister has also acknowledged the development, stating that wherever wrongdoing is established, any person involved will be held accountable without fear or favor, and the chips will fall where they may. Now, the allegations have sparked widespread public discussion and calls for answers. While some government officials declined interview requests, others responded through written statements, though many of the specific claims outlined in U.S. documents have yet to be directly addressed. Meantime, West Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Kingsley Smith is breaking his silence on reports he says that have been circulating in the public domain as they reference to him and his involvement. In a statement issued this afternoon, Smith said he is aware of the discussions surrounding the matter, but strongly rejected the claims describing reports relating to him as, quote, salacious, defamatory, and entirely ill-conceived. Smith did not elaborate on the specific reports he was referencing, but his comments come amid growing public attention surrounding the developing matter. Well, F&M Deputy Leader Shannon Cartwright is now calling for a commission of inquiry into the identity of Politician 1, the unidentified individual referenced in U.S. court documents connected to an ongoing DEA investigation involving alleged meeting at Parliament. Cartwright describing the allegations as deeply concerning and calling the matter a disgrace, while expressing hope that those responsible, if any wrongdoing is established, will be held accountable. The call came in a video recorded outside Parliament, which has since been circulating widely across social media as Cartwright questioned what he described as the government's silence on the matter.
someone who was in this house, bringing disrepute not only to this institution, but to the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Someone who was working to disturb the sanctity of this institution. The government must stand up and let the Bahamian people know who is this politician who was in this house. Is it someone who, in fact, will be sworn in tomorrow to come back in this house? So the question is today, why is the government so silent on this issue that has brought reputational damage not only to this institution, but to the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas? There's a collective cry throughout this country that the people of this country are demanding answers. How could it be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that someone who is sworn to protect the Constitution of this country and who should be a lawmaker, not a lawbreaker?
That is F&M Deputy Shannon Cartwright in a recorded video message outside Parliament today, urging that the government says more. Of course, we know that the Davis administration has responded through a statement that I read a few moments ago. But panel, I wanna give you all an opportunity to sort of respond, and I don't want us to bring anything that's floating out there and people and what they're saying and insinuating. No. Let's be responsible and just speak to what is being reported officially. But here's Cartwright saying, "Listen, Commission of Inquiry. Let's get to the bottom of this." Your thoughts, panel?
Cartwright need to just calm down, sir. Calm down. There's a reason you're standing outside Parliament. Yeah, that. You're insinuating, you're suggesting all kinds, shameful, but we don't know the name. The government claim they don't know the name, and they're seeking to find out who the individual is. So how you get out there saying all you're saying, I understand your frustration, sir. You should be frustrated. What happened to you over the last week? I mean, standing outside the Senate, standing outside the House of Assembly, but I beg of you, sir, be responsible as you stand outside.
So is Michael and Howard, Peggy said, be responsible. Let the law take its course. Let this investigation play itself out so that if the finger does point to an individual, then that'll be revealed.
You know, Shanique, I think the reality of it is, and you know, they say the truth shall set you free. I think the reality is the U.S. is still, I'm pretty sure, doing their investigation, interrogation, whatever it may do. You know, at the end of the day, I think the chips, let them fall where they may. At the end of the day, when the information becomes, I don't know if it's going to become public first, but when the government is given the correct information in terms of names. But at the end of the day, I think this particular situation, we as Bahamians need to pay attention, because at the end of the day, we should not allow any individual or individuals to bring any type of shame of this sort to our Parliament or the walls of Parliament, because at the end of the day, it's a disgrace on all of us. It's a shame. Yeah. And you know, we have to demand. I mean, at the end of the day, as soon as the Prime Minister knows exactly who these or the person or persons are, they need to be dealt with accordingly and swiftly.
Yeah, Shanique, I agree. The only thing I agree with Mr. Cartwright on is that this is a disgrace, and it doesn't matter who's in power. It's a disgrace because an elected official from the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, according to this affidavit or this information, was inside the sanctity of the Parliament discussing drug smuggling, right? Allegedly. And drug smuggling matters. That is a disgrace to the Bahamas. Now, beyond that, with Mr. Cartwright calling for a commission of inquiry and saying the government should reveal the name. Well, from what I understand from news reports, this plane crash took place in waters off of the United States. And this man was taken into custody by U.S. authorities. And what is going on now is being controlled by U.S. authorities. So the name of the person that was taken off of this individual is all in the control of U.S. authorities. The Bahamas government is trying to find out information and gather information. So it's not the government of the Bahamas' job at this point to reveal any information, because they are in the information gathering stage. So I believe, unfortunately, Mr. Cartwright is just politically posturing at this time, and
like
things
him.
have to take their natural course.
But I think
Cartwright
the
want
U.S.
them like him again.
The
He
U.S.
want them
knows
like
the
him.
information. I mean, what they've been doing wiretaps in 2023 or 2024. So, but they, I'm pretty sure they know exactly what they're looking for.
But they ain't say it.
But they just haven't said it.
We all await. We
Let
await
the chips
exactly
fall
to
where
see.
they may.
We await to see what the
Sit down, pull out your
investigation.
popcorn and,
We await to see what the investigation reveals. I have to go.
Mr. Davis need to do this.
I have to go, Howard. I have to go because we have more to get to. Believe me, so much more to get to. Because when we come back, the Christian Council say, listen, explain more on Sabas, explain more on Leslie. That's what they're saying today. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel. And I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily, it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, processes you, and entertains you 24/7.
A lot of people know CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store thanks to our beautiful retail stores. But what you may not know is contractors love shopping here as well. Whether you need a flat rack of shingles, a truckload of drywall, or a pallet of joint compound, we can make it happen with unbeatable pricing, fast turnaround times, and excellent communication. That's why contractors love shopping with CBS Bahamas. Learn more at cbsbahamas.com.
Very dry, tight, sensitive skin? Relieve it in 60 seconds with Aveeno Skin Relief. With soothing triple oat complex, clinically proven to heal and strengthen dry skin. Aveeno, your skin stronger.
Don't let diarrhea steal your sunshine. Imodium Multi-Symptom Relief gets to work fast in just 1 hour, offering our most complete relief from diarrhea, bloating, gas, and cramps. So you can get diarrhea off your mind. Imodium. Calm the chaos of diarrhea.
Only at Popeyes can you get the amazing deal of 5 pieces of chicken for $10 at all Popeyes locations. Visit us every day, any day, and get your 5 for $10 only at Popeyes.
Y'all again?
Monday, Popeyes. Tuesday, Popeyes. Wednesday, Popeyes. Thursday, Popeyes. Friday, Popeyes. Saturday, Popeyes.
Girl, what we getting for lunch today? Popeyes again?
Popeyes. Every single day, give me Popeyes.
Five cars, catch the keys, don't blink, take these.
Island Luck is giving away 5 brand new cars. Earn 10 reward points for a chance to enter and win. Enter weekly from Monday 12 a.m. to Sunday 2 p.m. Winners are announced Sundays at 3 p.m. on 103.5 The Beat and Island Luck Socials. 5 cars, 5 weeks. The more you play, the better your chances. Visit islandluck.com for more information. Catch the keys only at Island Luck. Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Tonight, the controversy continues surrounding the Prime Minister's ministerial team that political leaders say won't just exhaust the public purse, but will silence those who have previously considered or been considered backbenchers. A former Prime Minister, though, isn't being too critical just yet. Jose Etienne tells us exactly who it is and what he has to say.
While public and political criticism continues to mount over what critics call a bloated cabinet under Prime Minister Philip Davis, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis says he is taking a more measured approach as he waits to hear the government's rationale behind what is now the largest cabinet in Bahamian history.
Sometimes it's best to look at the wider picture. At the wider picture, is this an investment by the government for a long-term benefit for the country? And I have to see what the speech from the throne is tomorrow.
Minister stopping short of condemning the 29-member cabinet may come as a surprise to some, particularly given that his own administration began with a 16-member cabinet. Nonetheless, Davis has defended his compliment, arguing that he needs all hands on deck to advance his government's agenda. This cabinet now includes more ministers and state ministers than Davis's first term. However, questions continue to emerge over whether some positions were structured more around political considerations. Critics have pointed to the appointment of PLP Secretary General Barbara Cartwright as Senator and Minister of Social Services, a move that caught many by surprise. Then there is Jerome Fitzgerald, a former member of parliament who returns to frontline politics after his last elected stint in government ended more than a decade ago. Fitzgerald also previously served as a senior policy advisor in the office of the Prime Minister. Also under scrutiny is Davis's decision to appoint 2 state ministers in the office of the Prime Minister compared to just one during his first term. And while the appointments of Sebastien and Leslie Miller Bryce appear to have satisfied legal requirements, observers continue to examine those decisions. While Minnis is not joining the chorus of critics, he has raised questions about how some portfolios were aligned.
I've always felt that technology should be separate as opposed to being attached to something. Technology is too important.
And so it remains to be seen whether the Governor General's speech from the throne on Wednesday will provide greater clarity on the government's direction and quiet some of the discussion surrounding the size of cabinet. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
So I want to bring in the panel right now to talk about this. We know it's a 29-member cabinet. We know that there are, I guess, historic number of state ministers as well as substantive ministers. The Prime Minister says the reason for this, truly, is because of an expanded agenda to continue building and moving forward. But what does my panel think? Michael, Peggy, Howard, your thoughts on some of the criticism. You see former Prime Minister Minnis is saying, wait a minute, not so fast. Let's just see what these men and women will do and how they will help move this country forward and bring about the kind of change that Bahamians desire. And then others are saying, but hold up, what the price tag is. Your thoughts?
Shanique, firstly, I would like to address the issue of the Christian Council again. I think the responsibility of the Christian Council to this nation needs to be clear because they are too selective and too emotional and personal when it comes to some situation, and then they are quiet and stoic when it comes to other information.
Well, you slapping up because...
Like when those prophets was out on Facebook and social media lying to the people about the F&M government, I expect those responsible for the fivefold ministry to call them in, but y'all can't call them in because y'all can't control them, but you want to control the government of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. If the law permits, say if you resign and remove yourself from the business of gaming, it allows you, like for instance, Miller Bryce, her husband removed himself. Sabas removed himself months ago. And so why now there's an issue? Because you want to control something. If you want to control something, control the fivefold ministry. Tell those human beings who call themselves prophets to stop lying to us, please. Because too many Bahamians run on what they say. And the Bible never, I saw where the Bible chastise sinners. He said, my people who are called by my name.
Go ahead, Peggy.
If they will turn from their wicked ways. He didn't call sinners wicked, you know. He said, come down, I want to have meals with you, to the tax collectors. Know your role. That's all I'm going to say.
Now, Peggy, before Michael and Howard jump in, what do you think about the criticism of the size, because we can, you gonna have more to say, because we can get more to what the Christian Council said, the size of the Davis cabinet.
You know, I was looking at individuals, and I will stick to Leslie Bryce Miller, who did a fabulous job during the last time when it came to the independence and other
the 50th anniversary and other things.
And other cultural events. It is unfair and unfortunate that based on what everybody was saying, the law said, because I read something totally different this evening, but based on everybody's interpretation of law, she was not allowed to serve as a cabinet minister. And so her family, her husband made the sacrifice for her. There's a good matchup to the appointments of cabinet ministers. For instance, Leslie Bryce Miller, and then when we look at Mr. Honorable Sabas, Innovation and National Planning. I mean, just look at what he did in the few months that he was a candidate, transforming the lives of people in his constituency.
So you feel as though you are saying then this historic amount of cabinet ministers that it bears watching, particularly because of what many of them bring to the table, and that it bears watching.
Give them a chance to perform, and then say, you know, it's a problem that you guys ain't even giving them a chance because you're so busy being miserable.
You know, Shanique, I said before, the law is the law. If there is anything in the law that has been broken, you know, and that reveals itself, then of course it needs to be dealt with. At the end of the day, you know, from what I understand, like I said before, I'm not a legal mind or a legal expert. You know, the law was amended from 2014, which allowed what had taken place, and if that is true, then it is what it is.
Well, I have the law because we can get into that, y'all. I just want y'all to quickly, Howard, I want you quickly just insert your little thing about the cabinet size, because we can get to exactly what Peggy and Michael are talking about right now.
So 2 quick things. It's not illegal for Prime Minister Davis to have a 29-member cabinet. I'm concerned about it for 2 quick things. Number one, Mr. Davis has made his input, which is appointing 29 cabinet ministers. I'm concerned about outcome. What's the outcome? And outcome has to be what is measurable. Give us a time, a point in time in Prime Minister Davis, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months. When are we going to assess the performance of this 29-member cabinet that you have to determine what the results are, what our return on investment is from having 29 cabinet ministers? That's number one. And then number two, quickly, my last concern is that when you have 3 branches of government, you have executive, you have legislative, and you have judiciary. Now, when the majority of your members of parliament are sitting in your executive branch, your cabinet, now we have a very, very, very small backbench, which includes the few members that have no appointments and the opposition to act as the check and balance on the government. So what has effectively happened when you have a quote-unquote Gussie May cabinet is that we have squashed the legislature and we have the executive, because once you agree to something in cabinet, you cannot go into the House of Assembly or Senate and disagree with it unless you tender your resignation and you will no longer be in the cabinet.
Well, I'll tell you this, Howard and Peggy and Michael, there are some backbenchers. They are excited to get started, to hold their governments, and I say there because they are also elected in this PLP government, to hold their feet to the fire. They absolutely are prepared to do that. One of them reached out to me no longer than yesterday and said that they're excited to be a backbencher and to do the business of the people who elected them. Meanwhile, you all, the Bahamas Christian Council President, Pastor Mario Moxie, is now calling on the government. Roll the TP, please, you all. Wake up. Now calling on the relevant authorities to break their silence regarding the appointments of Sabas Bastian and Leslie Miller Bryce to cabinet.
Really?
Now, the appointments continue to attract public attention due to their previous connections to the gaming industry, with discussions focused on provisions of the Gaming Act that place restrictions on gaming operators and certain related interests among cabinet ministers. Both cabinet ministers have maintained that they satisfied all legal requirements necessary to serve in their respective positions. Prime Minister Philip Davis and the Gaming Board have yet to publicly address the matter. Meanwhile, Pastor Moxie says his concern is not necessarily whether the letter of the law was satisfied, but whether the appointments comply with what he described as the spirit and intention of the legislation.
The hell is the spirit?
I don't understand. I don't get it. We're not. Come back, you all. So you all, we're having audio difficulties there. Obviously, not my doing, not my doing. But you can. I had to say that, Howard. I had to say that. But you can imagine what he said. I led into it quite nicely. So let's just get into this. Let's get into this discussion. By the way, before I even forget, let me get to some of what some of you are saying. You all have opinions and ready to share it. You say, please tell the Bahamas Christian Council, please. Tell them that the biblical saying, he who is without sin cast the first stone. Democracy is a manipulative process. This comments coming now. Eric says he have it now. And so in order to be fair to this discussion, let's hear the Christian Council president.
We acknowledge that the ministers in question have indicated that they have satisfied the legal requirements necessary to serve in cabinet. However, no public evidence has yet been produced that fully resolves the concern held by many citizens, whether these individuals have truly and completely relinquished any direct or indirect interest, influence, or continuing financial benefit from gaming enterprises with which they have been closely identified. The present appointments have created a dark cloud that should not be dismissed lightly. Even if legal opinions have been obtained, and even if steps have been taken to satisfy the letter of the law, the broader, more important question remains, and that is, has the spirit of the law been honored? The Bahamian people should not be asked to accept what appears to be legal gymnastics crafted to get one over on the law. When a statute is enacted to prevent a particular ethical danger, government must not appear to be searching for pathways around the very concern that the law was designed to address.
Well, you all, let's get into this. This is something that has been buzzing really since these appointments have been announced. And now, of course, both are now sworn in cabinet ministers. You all know the ministries that they're responsible for. The Gaming Act does not disqualify, and we've got to honor the way we want to honor everybody else and say, listen, these are honorable men and women, including of the church or anywhere else. Me with you all this evening, if I say something, you've got to kind of give me the benefit of the doubt, right? So these people have publicly disclosed that they have divested themselves, and we have to believe their word until we see otherwise. Let's just talk about what the law says and provides for, and what it is that both Bastian and Bryce have committed to having done already, including family members, as you mentioned earlier, Peggy, Bryce's husband, right? The Gaming Act does not disqualify a person from serving as a cabinet minister. It never has. It is only the Constitution of the Bahamas that lays out disqualifications for holding cabinet office or even being an elected official. None of those disqualifications apply here. We all know that. We all on one page, right? So what the Gaming Act does address is the holding of gaming licenses and certain financial interests connected to gaming operations, specifically sections 25 and 26. And so let's look at what it says. And again, both Bastian and Miller Bryce have said that they have divested of themselves. The one of them, her spouse, even went as far as to divesting himself, because the law addresses that, and therefore he did what the law calls for. So in section 25, this is the Gaming Act, it says, and what financial interest means: a right or entitlement to share in profits or revenue, or direct or indirect interest in the voting shares or voting rights attached to shares of a company. And then let's look at part 3 of that. It's a whole bit. It's quite a bit to say there, but it says any indirect interest held through any fund or investment if the person holding such interest has no control over the investment decisions made in respect of that fund or investment. And of course, as we know, and we have discussed this at length, this has been out there. Bastian has divested himself. He has no direct interest, even indirect. He has divested himself of control, and so has Miller Bryce as well, including her spouse. Now, you all, so you see, the Christian Council president is not questioning the law and even what the law provides for. He is questioning the integrity of both people. Your thoughts on that? To I guess create further doubt. Is that fair?
No, that's a mean of controlling, and then he speaks to the spirit of the law. And it would be like me asking about the spirit of his praise team and the spirit of his choir and the spirit on his altar. I'd be out of order to do such a thing. So unless he's a lawyer and I'm unaware of it, if I'm unaware of it, I bow down to you, sir. But if you're not a lawyer, you're asking the spirit of the law and you're questioning the integrity of these young Bahamians who have offered themselves to serve. And I think you're out of order, sir. Your business is what spirit lies in your congregation and in your choir and your praise leader. That's the spirit you need to ensure.
Shanique, when you look, you always see the Christian Council.
I want to say that I don't know what it is going on in his praise team or choir.
But if you question the integrity of persons, you should have questioned the integrity of anyone before they actually get into politics or before they actually become a member of parliament. I mean, you're talking about integrity. But then we talk about, we talk about the referendum. Let's go back to the referendum. If the people said no to the referendum, I think the Christian Council, I don't know, they should be making noise from the referendum to now. Because at the end of the day,
15 years ago.
If you're saying that you represent the people and what they want, I mean, the people said no. I guess the Christian Council said, okay, let's move on. Now we come to this junction and you be like, hey, now you're questioning the integrity of the persons. I think that's wrong. I think let's focus on the law, what the law actually states, and if the law says they've met the requirements, then it is what it is. Let's just move on.
How would you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, very quickly. Yes, sir.
I know that news reports said that Mr. Bastian had divested himself of all of his interests in the gaming and put it in a trust. Now, I've worked with trusts over the years for one of the biggest global firms in finance, right? Charles Schwab, previously. And working with trusts, I know that when you divest into a trust, the trust is the legal entity that is alive. That's like a person. So Sabaz doesn't own those interests if it is indeed in the trust. That belongs to the trust. So he is free and clear. And my sources at the gaming board have told me that on late Thursday evening, before end of day, Mr. Bryce was seen at the gaming board delivering the information that he needed to provide as proof of divesting himself. So if those two things have indeed happened, then those persons are free and clear to serve in the cabinet of the Bahamas. This is just a matter of public disclosure that the government now needs to bring to the people and demonstrate in full public disclosure that they have done so. And hopefully this will be all put to bed.
Wow, I mean, for you to have gone and discussed that and investigated that and been told, free from, I didn't even know it, just found out a moment ago, that you spoke with gaming board officials and they said, listen, Mr. Bryce came here and this is what he did and and it's all above board. He divested himself fully.
And just
technical compliance achieved.
Probably we should ask for the audit of bank.
We acknowledge that the ministers
At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future.
Everybody get up.
Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Everybody get up.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Chris Brown and Usher. Listen to me, and that's it. Listen, we're talking about Essence Fest. It's happening in July. I know many of you know that already because you're planning to be there. But wait a minute, just slow up a little bit. You don't have to spend all that money because if you plan on attending the Essence Fest in early July, you're in luck. Wendy's and Coca-Cola have teamed up to send some lucky viewer and their friend, spouse, whomever it is, sibling, whomever it is, to the Essence Fest 2026 in New Orleans. And we are super happy to get right into this to talk about it. The representatives from Wendy's and Coca-Cola are here. Hello to you, Jade Wells. Hello to you, Lauren Clark. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's really awesome. And then let's talk about the history of this, first of all. This is the first time outside the United States that sort of this free access to the Essence Fest is happening, right?
Yes.
Well, first of all, how did you all even come up on this, been able to get approval for this, to bring this free giveaway to the Bahamian people?
Well, Coca-Cola has been the presenting sponsor of the Essence Fest since its inception. And so we really wanted this time to create an experience for our consumers home. A lot of times we see incredible contests and giveaways, but they're only available abroad. And so we worked really diligently with our global team to make this experience happen. And we're really excited to partner with Wendy's, who we believe is a leading warrior in the fast food space in the Bahamas, and also a company that also prioritizes the consumer's experience, quality products, and things like that.
So Wendy's, look at the way, Jade, that Coca-Cola spotted you all, especially what you do here in the Bahamas. Those tenders, I think, had a role to play in their decision. But just talk about this wonderful partnership with Coca-Cola and helping to make summer that much more exciting for one lucky person.
Well, Wendy's and Coca-Cola, we've been partnering together for our summer promotions as well as Christmas for
many years, and this is just our opportunity just to give back to our customers. And one thing about us, we love to give back to our customers in a big way. So if we're not giving away cars, cash, we are now giving away a grand prize for 2 to experience Essence Festival in New Orleans. And I think that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I really believe it is. Now, let's talk about, first of all, you all know it's the beginning of July. Yes. It's the beginning of July. It's held in New Orleans. So you all know New Orleans has its own flavor, its own rhythm, its own energy. And imagine the Essence Fest on top of that. Before we get into how they can apply, what they do and all this stuff, let's just talk about who are some of the headliners at this year's Essence Fest.
Well, you know, Cardi B has had a big year so far, and she is the headliner for this year's Essence Festival, along with Brandy and Monica. They also were on tour recently this year. Mm-hmm. And then you have, you know, the real R&B heavy hitters. You have Patti LaBelle, the Isley Brothers, just to name a few. So you have artists that, you know, they are performing for the younger audience as well as the older audience as well. So it's basically a festival for everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, now how can persons get in touch with Coca-Cola, with Wendy's locally, right here, who somebody's watching tonight, and apply or qualify?
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. You know, you always are going to Wendy's anyway for lunch, but just one thing that you have to do, you have to upgrade your lunch combo to a large. So that's any combo 1 through 12, whether that's your tenders, your number 1, or your Asiago, as well as the new chicken tender wrap. Once you upgrade that to a large with a Coke product, you are eligible to enter to win. And it's pretty simple. You can scan the QR code that you'll see at the bottom of your receipt, or you can WhatsApp a picture of your receipt to our number as well.
You want to jump in, Lauren?
Yeah, and also I'd like to say, you know, Coca-Cola, we're all about winning and giving back to our consumers. So even if you're not the lucky chosen person for the grand prize, you can still win prizes weekly. And we're giving away suitcases, we're giving away tote bags, and so many incredible items that you can get your hands on. So this promotion really is just about celebrating our consumer, giving back, and just preparing everyone for an exciting summer. We're also giving away money. I mean, who doesn't love that? We're giving away thousands of dollars.
As a part of this promotional exercise?
Yeah, so every week we're doing great prizes.
Listen to me. How you all missed that part out? Let us just talk about this, because wait a minute, if the tenders weren't enough of a pull and an attraction, let us just talk about the fact that people can walk away after getting those meals that you just talked about, Jade, that they can walk away still with more money in their pockets.
Absolutely. So like Lauren said, if you didn't win the grand prize, you have a chance to win $1,000. So every week for 5 weeks up until June 18th, we'll be selecting one person to win $1,000, as well as travel vouchers. So if you're not in the running for New Orleans, you have a chance to get a Going Places travel voucher, so you can still plan your perfect summer vacation.
Now let me see exactly what I'm going to pull up to the drive-through for. Like what my first thing will be. When is starting? When do I need to show up?
So we started yesterday.
And it's already started.
It's already started.
So this, now make sure. Listen, look at the face. Let me know when to go and do the QR code. Because give me my first 1,000, as well as perhaps the Essence Fest.
Yeah, and the promotion ends June 19th. So you have a month. You have lots of opportunities to go out and make those large combo purchases with a cold Coca-Cola or Sprite, Fanta, Dasani water, if you're watching those calories. So there's so many options that you can drink with a Coke product and also consume a lovely, delicious Wendy's meal.
Not to mention the salads as well, those amazing salads.
I was actually gonna talk on that as well. If you're watching your figure for the summer, you can also purchase any salad along with a Coke product, whether that's a Dasani water, or if you still want, something a little sweet like an orange soda or a Coke, we don't judge.
Once again, you can, beginning tomorrow, in fact, right after tonight's show, how about that, Rob? Go right now tonight, 9 o'clock, it's just a few more minutes, go to your nearest Wendy's, go and purchase, upgrade the meal, get a large, and you can then be entered into the wonderful opportunity to go to the Essence Fest that happens around, it's like a week, and you're only saying everything.
So it's July 3rd to the 5th.
That part. I mean, and all paid for.
Yeah, so it includes flights, accommodations, all access passes, money. We're all about money. Yes.
Yes, shopping money. Then, so tell that person out there that if they win, they don't have to think about, oh my God, so I'm going to just go by myself.
No, of course not. We want to make this an experience for your bestie, whoever that may be, your mom, your dad, your auntie, your cousin, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. We just want to make it an experience of a lifetime, and that's what Coca-Cola is all about, bringing the real magic of Coca-Cola to our local consumers. And so we're really excited that we're not just doing it for one person, but we're also granting them the opportunity to bring a loved one along for an incredible Wendy's and Coca-Cola summer.
So look at that. Summer just got a whole lot more exciting and a whole lot more interesting. You are going to New Orleans for the Essence Summer Fest. You heard Cardi B is the headliner there, but a whole number of your favorites and people that you look forward to, that you've followed for years, some who are new, but that you enjoy their music, all for an entire week, all on Coca-Cola and Wendy's, and with shopping money to boot as well. Ladies, I'll give you each an opportunity to have a final comment.
Final comment, go out, make those purchases. You can either send your receipt to the number 809-2916, or you can scan the QR code which shows at the bottom of your receipt. And remember to do those large combos, and make sure, most importantly, you include a Coca-Cola product. So that's Coke, Sprite, Fanta, Gumbe, or Dasani water.
Also wanted to mention that during this time, we'll also be having pop-up events at Wendy's at different locations starting tomorrow. Our first event is at 12 p.m. at Golden Gates. So we'll be there, just letting you know all about what we have to offer, and you have a chance to spin the wheel to win instant prizes as well.
You can spin the wheel from the drive-thru?
Well, we'll bring the wheel to you.
You'll bring the wheel.
We'll bring the wheel.
I like that. So listen, you all, I love this little relationship right here. You all have obviously making summer fun and exciting with new experiences for all of your customers are really, really awesome. So even if you don't get to go, you still win. Remember now, $1,000 a week starting. In fact, people started entering from yesterday. And so who knows when they would call you. So you got to get in there. And then, of course, that big prize, which is the Essence Fest for a week with shopping money, all the rest of it, you and someone to go and have fun at the Essence Fest, where Cardi B is the headliner. Repeat that number once again.
809-2916.
809-2916, and they can scan there and send all the receipts and all the stuff there through that number. Yes?
Yes. Just a correction, the number is 805-2916.
Okay. Say it again. I need people to hear it.
So you can WhatsApp a photo of your receipt to 805-2916 and just follow the instructions that you'll see in the WhatsApp chat.
Amazing. Again, I hope you all got that information. Win, win, win. Enjoy Wendy's. Enjoy all that Wendy's has to offer that's on the menu. You all know the menu very, very well. I don't even have to repeat it. They don't have to repeat it. Certainly, of course, Bahamians love our Wendy's, right? And so really, really awesome. Ladies, thanks for coming here, sharing this excellent news for people out there, making summer exciting, and also for that people could just get some money. Listen, they love that. They absolutely love that. Thank you so much, Jade Wells from Wendy's and Lauren Clark from Coca-Cola. Thank you very, very much, ladies. Thank you once again. And of course, a huge thank you to my Hot Topics panel who were here earlier. Michael Turnquest, Peggy Candice, and Howard Johnson. And then these ladies right here. I hope you all got all the information you needed to be able to have an enjoyable summer. Go shopping on them and all the rest of it. And of course, my team, thank you very much on behalf of the entire Beyond the Headlines team. It's been awesome having you hang out this evening. Thank you for participating in the show as well. We look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. Remember, it's the opening of Parliament, the fashions, y'all. Yeah, this right here. Tune in on our coverage is at beginning, I think, around 9:30 tomorrow morning. So certainly join us for that here on Eyewitness News. Until then, I'm Shanique Miller. Everybody, thank you for watching. Have a great evening.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited.